Good morning, dear students. Today in class plus one, we are going to discuss next poem, Childhood, composed by Marcus Nathan. We people have certain stages in life, like childhood, okay, adulthood, young one, and then old age. So these four stages generally we have in our life: childhood, adulthood, young age, and old one. So here the poet has taken this particular stage for the discussion or for his imagination. See, the poem Childhood deals with the poet's curiosity to know when actually an individual, when actually a person uh, becomes a child from his birth, during his birth time. And he wonders whether it is the old age or the age of childhood that makes the people more attractive, okay, innocent, or free from all kind of foundation of this material world. Okay, and here this stage disappear very fast. This childhood disappear very fast in everybody's life, but everybody misses that particular part a lot. Here childhood is a stage where innocency comes, where free mindedness comes, and where attractiveness comes. Apart from that, childhood has been a point of discussion in the poem where the poet search. Actually, now he is an adult. Okay, and now he wants to search. What he wants to search? He wants to search childhood. Okay, and in the poem, he has divided four different stanzas: first, second, third, and fourth. In first stanza, he talks about when, second also when, third also when. In these three he talks about time, and in fourth he talks about place. He generally put a question: when did my childhood go? He put a question: when did my childhood go? When did my childhood go? When did my childhood go? But lastly he asked, where did my childhood go? Okay, this particular poem talks about throughout the globe, in which hell, heaven, okay, and love, adult age, okay, all these things are being discussed. Okay, dear students, so we are going to discuss about a poem Childhood, in which Marcus Nathan uh, composed four different stanzas, and in these stanzas he talks about the searching of childhood. Okay, in first stanza he talks about time, again time, again time, then place. But in first stanza he also talks about heaven and hell. In second stanza he talks about adult and love, okay, adult and love. And in third stanza he talks about you can say thinking ourselves, producing thoughts. In third stanza he talks about thoughts, okay, and last stanza he talks about an infant. Okay, so let's have a discussion, and now we read this poem Childhood, Marcus Nathan. See, first stanza: when did my childhood go? He asks a question to the reader: when did my childhood go? Time: was it the day when I ceased to be 11? Means to say, in stanza first he talks about when, and was it the day, was it the time when he ceased to be 11, when he became 11 years old? he gives us some kind of you can say clues, points, that was it the time when I become 11 years old, or was it the time I realized that hell and heaven could not be found in geography, or was it the day or was it the time when I got to know that hell and heaven, they are not found in geographical map. Or I just tell you one more thing, hell refers to bad things, heaven refers to good things. So here we also can assume that was it the time when poet got to know what is wrong, what is right, what is negative, what is positive. Second explanation of the same line. But as for this text, the poet talks about was it the time when the poet got to know that hell and heaven they are not being found on geography map, then and therefore could not be, and then he got to know that these are not here. Was it the time, was it the day? No, the answer is no. Was it the day when he got to know about his 11 years old, when he got to know geographical map, or it was a day? No. Now second stanza, when did my childhood go? Again the same question. Was it the time I realized that adults were not all they seem to be? Adults, what do? They talked of love and preached of love. See, here the poet somehow comments on the love and adults, that whatever they do, whatever they say, they never fulfill that point. It means they are hypocritical people, but did not act so lovingly. Here in this stanza, hypocrisy has been highlighted. To speak something else and to do something else. Okay, so this is the point. Here he asks, when did my childhood go? Was it the time when I realized that adults they do something and they say something? They do love, but they preach of love, but actually they do not do anything lovingly. Okay, so this one is now third stanza. When did my childhood go? Same question. Was it when I found my mind was really mine? It means here the poet started creating his own thoughts. The poet started thinking what is wrong and what is right, to use whichever way I choose. It means here he became independent. So because he started thinking himself, so he has produced his own thoughts, and that's why he has taken decision whatever he wanted. Then producing thoughts that were not those of other people. It means producing the thought which were belonging not to anybody else but to the poet, but my own and mine alone. These thoughts were his own, and these thoughts were his alone. Was that the day? Was it the time? When the poet says, was it the time when I started thinking myself, when I started producing my thought myself? Was this the time when I lost my childhood, or when did my childhood go away from me? Now, three stanzas they talks about when. See, dear students, in three stanzas you will get to know similarity of first question, the very first question of the, but the other content of these three stanzas they talked differently, isn't it? In first stanza he talks about his age, hell and heaven, geographical map. In second stanza he talks about adult, love, preaching, and their act. And in third stanza he talks about his own mindset, he talks about his own thoughts, he talks about his own thought process. Now stanza number 4, where did my childhood go? Now the poet changes the question from when to where. It went to some forgotten place. Now he decided that somewhere I left it, or somewhere I have forgotten this stays at any place that's hidden in infant face. And where, what is the place? The place is infant's face, newborn baby. That's all I know. And he says that whatever I know, I just told you that I have lost my childhood, or my childhood went away, and that place is infant's face. My dear students, you might have seen the activities done by a newborn baby of 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, that he is really free from this materialistic world. He does not know what is problematic world. This world is going to be for him or her. So what I told in the beginning, this infant face has innocency, this infant face has freeness, this innocence, this infant face has freedom of doing whatever he wants to do. So infant's face is the place where where the poet lost his childhood. Okay, so dear students, just summarize first again once again. In first stanza, he talks about age 11, hell and heaven, geographical map. In second stanza, he talks about adult, their love, their preaching, and their acting. Acting means action. And in third stanza, he talks about his thinking, his own mindset, and his own thought process. And lastly, he decides that he has lost his childhood on a place, and the place is sorry, he has forgotten his childhood on a place, and the place is infant's face. And that's all I know. And by the end of the poem, he gives us an answer that he has forgotten his childhood in an infant's face, in the activities, in the innocence of an infant's face. Okay, and just have a look over there also. Identify the stanza that talks of each of the following. There are three: individuality, rationalism, and hypocrisy. So as I told you, this adult stanza, it talks about hypocrisy, rationalism, individuality, this one third stanza, and rationalism is first stanza. So these three stanza talks about different parts. Okay, that's all for this poem. Thank you. Have a good day.